Welcome. You're Her Conversations. Sunday, 5 o'clock. We made it with Miss Portia J.
Hi, everybody. It's Portia J all day, and we are going to be talking about doing God's will, God's way, regardless of how you feel. So we look forward to this amazing conversation that I think will enlighten us about a lot of how we can do that, if we're doing that, and where we need to go in that. So,
For sure. And Miss Kiana is not able to join us tonight, unfortunately, but maybe she'll jump on in the chat, hopefully. Um, but doing God's will, regardless of how you feel, period. And not just even how you feel, like how it looks. I
mm-hmm.
think that is for me sometimes where I'm like, God, I don't see it, or it's not making sense right now. And he's like, no, you got to still keep pressing. You have to still keep walking it. Come on, pick up your bootstraps and go. Like,
That part.
and separating your feelings versus like flesh versus God's will. Like, how to be able to push through even when your flesh is fleshing,
Mm-hmm.
like truly fleshing.
That part.
So, yeah, great conversation for sure tonight. And hopefully, we can get some people on to be able to jump in the chat. And if you are on, like and share it so others can join us as well. I'm going to see of getting some faces loaded for us. But in the meantime, I think that the past week for sure, like I've been dealing with this, you've been dealing with this. I know Kiana said as well, and she even made an amazing post saying, okay, like this gets hard.
Mm-hmm.
And her video was so spot on this week of like, it gets hard. What do you do when it gets hard? For you, what are your go-tos?
I mean, honestly, of course, I take everything back to the Lord, but there are times where I don't want to take it to Him because I'm like, it's your fault, anyways. That's how my mind goes, you know? Like, okay, I have these plans, I have these ways, these things that I think are best for me. And when that starts to pan out differently or it starts to burn my flesh and mess with my pride issues that I tend to have to hand over to the Lord, you know? Um, the only thing that I really can do is sit with it and trust Him. Sit with Him and trust with Him. And sometimes it is a fight, I'll be honest with you, because again, we have a human experience here on earth. It's like this tug of war thing, but I learned that the more that I surrender to even just, how things happen, we'll think it's going to go one way with the call. We think it's going to go one way in our just everyday, but I think it's just a test of our surrender and a growing in our faith. So to say the least, just even though it sometimes is a war, I surrender it to Him, and I've had enough experience to know that His way is just better, despite how I feel. And so, yeah. What about you, girl?
What if um his way's better, but there's days I fight it. And I think that to me is such the real piece that not a lot of people talk about. I watch a lot of Christian content, and so it's like his way's the best. And so therefore I wake up every day
Girl.
and it is it and I do it well. And I'm like, okay, but what when you don't?
Oh.
Like, you know what I like, because I am the one that is like, I don't want to today, or I don't feel like it today. And that doesn't mean that I'm completely reverted back into like the world and old ways. And it's just a feeling of I don't want to. And even today I had a girlfriend who was just like, where are you at with your book? And I'm like, you can get out of my face. not in a mean way, but I say that because I'm not aligned in His will. That's His will and what the Lord's told me that I need to be doing versus what I want to every day and what I'm actually working on. And, or just even what I am feeling like. There are days that I can press through and be like, I know it to be true. I know that God wants me to do this, and I am right there and I'm aligned. And I can give you some tools in that.
For sure.
But I do believe that there is a large group of people who watch internet content who are like, how come they can get it right every day?
That's
like, what are they doing? what is this magic solution? Because I don't feel like it today. I believe in God. It doesn't mean that I don't believe in God. I believe in him. But I don't really want to align to what he wants for my life right now because I kind of miss my old life or like whatever the actual issue is. But we get caught in the comparison game a little bit when it comes to Christian internet content and what they are saying versus God's will.
I mean, I think we have to also pay attention. I think that's good, but we have to pay attention that it's also an aesthetic. It is a look, it's a highlight reel. So you're seeing all the good moments when we're actually living. I mean, if you can put a camera up, and I no knocks to anybody that's doing Christian content, but I mean, what about those ugly cry moments where it's complete surrender? I know I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I hate this for myself right now.
I think it's getting more vulnerable. I will say that there's sometimes that I will see some crying moments. I don't know if it's staged. None of my business.
Like, but still, like, we have these crying moments and all this stuff, like, you know, but again, I think more people need to say what it's like for them. Show what it's like for them. And every day, I mean, I'm not talking about put our makeup on and then get on the camera. I'm talking about like in the moment. And I've been trying to work on that myself. And I know we've talked about that because people are tired of this staged way of how this looks. No, I really want to see or hear that you struggle with this too, sis. Like when God says, don't go to this church, don't go into this place, doing God's will our way, but despite how we feel, our feelings can get us in trouble. It can get dangerous positions or dangerous places or just even stuff that God never had aligned with us, pushing us further out. Does that make sense? So I think in this season, with everything that's going on in the world, we have to be very like conscious of how serious this is. No, we won't get it right all the time, but when we don't, of course, we got to give ourselves grace. But we have to have real conversations of what that looks like because it's more often that people are in this and struggling with it than not.
Having community and having girlfriends to be able to talk. I mean, to me, that has been a huge toolkit that I have that I didn't have before in this way to go, I don't know about this. I remember there was a photo shoot that I was asked to do over the summer. And at first I'm like, I don't know if this is God's will or not. I'm asking for confirmation and I'm fighting with it. And I just don't know about this. I just don't know about this. And I was able to get on the phone with Portia. She's like, okay, we're going to pray about it. And we're going to see if it's aligned. And I believe Jasmine as well. I talked to her about it. And I'm driving there. And God gave me confirmation in the form of a bird because it was something that had been like following me for a while. And I knew I was always in the right place if this red cardinal showed up. And so the red cardinal showed up. And as I turned into this photo shoot, I'm like, okay, I'm in the right place. And God showed up. But in the midst of going, is this God's will? Is this God's will? Am I aligned? Am I doing the right thing? Should I have said no? I don't know about this. Being able to have the girlfriends to talk to say, okay, let's pray about it and see if it's aligned. And okay, what is the risk if you're not? Like, let's go through all the check boxes because there was little information about the shoot. So I just kind of knew I was going to a ranch to do a shoot, period. Like, I didn't really know what it was for. I had some assumption, but actually I was wrong and all the things. But without my friends and then without just my personal relationship with the Lord, I wouldn't have had that experience because I was tempted to talk myself out of it thinking that's not God. And God was like, but if you walk with me and use what you have, use your tools along the way, then you're going to align with me. I could have stayed home. And I know I would have missed out on a lot, nothing to do with the shoot. I just would have missed out on God's presence there and some words that were given to me in the midst of. But I think we teeter-totter in the God's will versus what's right. And we can truly talk ourselves out of his will easily. And that night I had a book club to host and I did, but I like pushed it to get done early. I'm sure Desmond probably I had reasons to not show up for this shoot. But again, I would have missed the Lord's will. And I had to lean on my toolkit to be able to get there.
That's good. That's good.
Hey, Corey. Hey, Vanessa. Thanks for jumping on. Just talking about doing God's will when you do not feel like it, being able to step into it. Like Vanessa says, that be bold enough to call it. Like, I pray that we can get the video back from the conference, because her entire speech was just so powerful in so many different ways. But one of them was her step into it and being able to just go, you know what? Like, devil, I see you, or I already know God's will. Like, I know these things to be true, period, point blank, done. You can get out of my face now.
And keep moving in that confidence. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that was definitely a powerful, powerful word that she gave. That, I mean, we've even talked that we allow play out in our days, especially on those days where we may be a little bit more fearful than others. You know,
for sure. It's but I think also that's the desires of your heart too. That's what came to my spirit right now. Like, we really don't take the time to know the desires of our heart, to know what God's will is, even with aligning within that, to call our shot. She said, God's got you, don't be shook. Like, to call our shot, to be like, no, this is what I know to be true. These are the desires of my heart. This is what, and this aligns to God's will because it aligns to his character. And I can ask him for the confirmation to be able to start walking in this. Because I think that is something that we're scared to do, is to question the Lord, is to be bold enough to be like, and on my way to that shoot that day, that's why I was like, send me confirmation, Lord. Like, I'm in the right spot, and bam, here comes the red cardinal across my car as I'm pulling into this ranch, like on a dirt road. It was like, it was almost like, silly girl, why do you question me? Keep walking with me. I'm going to show up, but ask to see me. And those are the days that he shows up and shows out for me. For sure. If I can ask him, show me you today. Then you know you're able to walk in his will. Like, you know you're walking in his will, because he'll give you those little signs along the way, along the road.
And I think it goes back to seek ye first the kingdom, and it'll be added to you. In order to know what those desires are, you have to really seek out you have to seek the Father first. And that gets implanted into your heart, and then you can really walk those things out with him. And then remembering what you pray for, because a lot of times we'll pray for things, and then they'll start to show up in ways that we didn't see them. Well, we don't have God's eyes. You know what I'm saying? We don't have, you know what I'm saying? Like, how, when they start to show up, we don't really, I don't know if it's oh my goodness, I can't believe it's here. Or if it's I don't feel confident enough to walk this thing out that I believed him for and he actually gave me. You know what I mean? Those things.
We can talk ourselves out of a good thing. And that's really what it boils down to. And making sure, Vanessa said, saying is the desire what will move us forward in alignment. That's hard. We're afraid of ourselves. And over the past few years, I've really noticed that I wasn't fearful of God, and I wasn't fearful of other people. I didn't trust myself and how to move in something accordingly. And it's asking the Lord for the strength within it. Okay, this is the desire, but can you give me the strength to be able to do this? Can you give me the sound mind to be able to handle it? Can you... we go to him for the big thing, but also he wants us to go for the molecular pieces of it as well. That, God, if I'm going to ask for this mansion, I need to ask for the housekeeper to help maintain it, or I need to help. I mean, these are the things that we don't think of sometimes in prayer when we're asking for this large thing, and how to be able to get that. And I know that's a little off subject on God's will for our life, but I think it really is a piece of, are we going to ask for all the things attached, or just even in the midst of going, God, I don't feel like doing your will today. Can you help me, give me the umph to get there? Vanessa said, do I deserve this? Am I worthy?
Those are the parts. That's the part that in moving in these things, that we actually feel that we don't say. You know what I mean? I think putting a voice to that and actually saying, like, there are days where I don't feel worthy, confident, like I can do it. So it's not just the strength, it's the endurance. It's not just the endurance, it's the peace. It's not just that, you know, the love for myself as I'm moving in your will. You know, because I think too, I don't know if you ever struggle with this, just beating yourself up along the way of not doing it right, or doing it right and then questioning if you did it right. You know, and I know that God is not the author of confusion, but sometimes but it can be confusing when you're fighting against yourself and his will.
100%, or give me the ability to deal with your children in it. Like, this is your will, God, but what if it's like a reconciliation you don't really want to do, but it is the Lord's will that you do it. And you have to like be able to strap up your boots and say, okay, God, I'm going to do this, but allow me to have your heart while I'm doing this. Walk with me through it. Give me the words to say as I go to this person, like whatever it is. Of course, don't believe the enemy's lies. It's tough because it creeps in very little ways. And I've been noticing it more and more, is that the negativity or the way I start viewing things, irritants that I didn't have before, where all of a sudden it's like, okay. And we also, this is a good leeway into as far as God's will, but Portia, we think that God's will is peace.
Girl, stop talking to me.
Well, or it's not hard. It's the easy road. God's will is the easy road. If you're going to tell me to do this, God, then this is going to be the smoothest pavement I've ever seen. And the image I have in my head right now is like on Cars when Lightning McQueen redid the road and it was like super, super bumpy. It's like it's redone. It has pavement. It's new pavement, but it's not going to be easy. Which part do you need me to repeat, Corey? But it's not going to be an easy road. It's not going to be smooth sailing. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows. It's going to get hard, and he wants us to lean on him in the hard.
In the suck. But I want to go back to what you said about the enemy. Sometimes we want to blame everything on like enemy, or we want to blame it on spiritual warfare, but sometimes it's really the inner us, like the inner me. You know what I mean? The inner me, that past version of yourself fighting with the new version of yourself, that inner us. And so you have to be careful. It's not always the enemy attacking. It's not always that. It's really a lot of times us battling ourselves in God's will. Like you said, it is hard. There are rainy days. There are days that feel like tornadoes, and we've had conversations like it'll start off good and I got this. The joy of the Lord is my strength. I shall rejoice and be glad in it when we wake up in the morning. And then by noontime, it's like, okay, I know I said have your way this morning, God, but I didn't know it was going to cost me a tire. No, 2 tires. No, actually 2 tires and a nail in the back one. It's $800, okay? And we both had that. We've had that. And that's not always, we planned for the day to go this way because we're doing blah, blah, but God needed that to happen so you could get to that place to speak to that person. You know what I mean?
Vanessa said, is it the devil or a decision? I think that the amount of nails that have been in my tire over the past month for no reason, because there's no construction in my neighborhood. I'm not driving past any. I'm very diligent now that this has happened multiple times where I'm like, hold on, what's happening? I had never had a flat tire until the past, what has it been, about a month and a half now. But so to me, I say that's the devil. But I know what you're saying, Vanessa. Is the devil or a decision in our normal everyday for sure?
Well, mine probably was the nail was the devil, okay? But the curb that I hit, that was all me. How about that? So back to Vanessa, she said, is it the devil or decisions? I had a phone conversation with a friend, and I was just like, God's will. Because God's will has been coming up in a lot of conversations this week. I don't know if that's for you, Jenna, but my friend was like, is it God's will or is it our decisions? And so she just kind of said that too. And it's kind of like, yes, deciphering if it was God's will for something to happen versus was it our decision that made that happen? Does that make sense?
100%. Vanessa had did a video on that as well. And it really is. It's like, we like to say, oh, the enemy's after us, or, oh, that's the devil. I mean, there's a story of the only time I've ever run out of gas.
Oh, stop it.
Only time I've ever run out of gas, I think I was like 18 or 19 years old. And I was out in the middle of the night. And I was driving home. It was like 3 a.m. But we live in the middle of nowhere in Northern California. And I got on the highway and I had to walk all the way back. And it's like, oh, it could be No, my car said it had enough miles to get me to where I needed to go. Like, I could blame the devil, but it was a decision to which I made, that I was out in the middle of the night with no cell phone, because there really weren't, cell phones weren't super common back then because I'm old. And it's easy to blame the enemy when we are literally living out of God's will. We are way outside the lines. We believe in the Lord, but we are coloring way outside, going, but God bless this. God bless it. But no, you don't see that I'm doing good in this area. Why couldn't you just get me home that night? Girl, if you don't sit down somewhere. I didn't have any money. My family was out of town. And the nice man, like, actually, I think they called the local police department to, like, take me back to my car, and they gave me $5 for gas. But have I ever run out of gas since? We get wisdom through those experiences, and we're able to walk better. But there is some kid, I'm sure, that's 18 or 19, is like, that's the devil. No. The devil had me on the side of the road. No, ma'am, I had myself out in the middle of the night with no cash on me and no cell phone. So we have to do better. I mean, it's do better.
For sure.
Do better. But when you're really walking, like for you and I, like the past several months of like head down, doing the Lord's work, like this is like, we're on assignment. We know what we're supposed to be doing. And then we get hit with the warfare pieces of it. Sometimes it was easy to look at and be like, was it the devil? And you start getting really self-critical. Did I not fast hard enough? Did I not pray hard enough? Was I not? No, some things just are. And there's learning lessons. And there's a refinery that takes place that really has made us better people because of it. And let it just work its process. Like, hands off, work its process. Okay, car broke down. Okay, we have flat tires. Okay, you just keep pushing. And God's still good in the midst. Corey says overthinking sucks. Yeah, welcome.
Welcome to our daily, and Vanessa knows we've had, welcome to our daily. If we could just put a little recorder in our brains without our mouths moving, and you just see the amount of warfare that goes on in the mind, and it's just as playing back scenarios or how this could have happened and it should have did, and did I say this right? Did I give her a tissue? Like, it's wild in here. And I think that's why the dependency of the Father and just, being in his presence, knowing how to hear his voice, staying in community with other people that can talk you off your mountain. But most importantly, just knowing who he is truly. If it is negative, it's not him. Okay. It just can't be, because it wouldn't line up with his word. It just wouldn't. And so I think just having that heart posture that, like, the more I know, the more I don't really know, but I know that he knows. And it's kind of more like a humbling thing for me. Like, I'm sorry, God, for thinking that my plans were better. I'm sorry for being so full of pride and my own desires that I won't even yield to your will. Like, you're clearly saying, don't go here, don't do this. I want you to do this instead. I mean, it's playing out, and I'm still trying to box with you.
That part.
And my mom used to always say, you don't have to run into a brick wall to know that it's bad for you. I did, though. But after a while of knocking my head on that brick wall, it's more so just like, okay, God, enough, because why I keep questioning about running into this brick wall, that you were never supposed, you're questioning God about something that you did out of you, not out of him.
It's an abuse of grace.
Ooh, oh my.
I know, that's a hard one, because we all use it, right? And his grace is sufficient. And amen, hallelujah. We're grateful. We keep on abusing that knowingly. And like you were saying, I'm running into the brick wall. I'm touching the hot stove over and over again. But when are we going to reverence him enough to be able to stop? I mean, God, your way is best. You know best. You know all things. And having that humbleness, I haven't said it this week, but my normal saying is, I know nothing. And so, like I said, I haven't said that this week, but if I can get in that heart posture, then he can go, you're right, you don't. And so I'm going to tell you the stove is hot, move.
Mm.
But would we do it? That's kind of hard. It depends on what your personality type is. But would you do it to someone you respect on earth? Would you continually, if it was a boss that said, hey, I need you to do this report in a different way, would you get in line because your paycheck depends on it?
Girl. I mean, but that's why I say the intimacy with the Father is like we have to get closer. We got to get closer. We have to know him for ourselves, because when you think of the love that he has for you and the love that you have for, like, when you really start to build that relationship with him, it would break your heart to keep spitting in his face. I mean, it would break your heart, which should change your behavior, I feel.
I agree.
You know, and I think, you know, I had heard someone earlier this week talking about you can't question God, but I do often. I don't know that I believe in that. It's not like I'm like, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, but I do ask why. Like, can you break it down to me why? You know what I mean? Like, what are you protecting me from? Show me. What are you guiding me to? You know? And I think having to get rid of wanting to know all the answers, that's my biggest. And we've talked about that a bunch of times. There's something else we talked about that I'm going to bring up. But it's like, I think like the fear of not knowing what's on the other side of what he's doing. Like, what does this look like? Who do I have to lose for this? What do I, you know, you're going to gain so much more because it's from him, but it's like, what does that look like for real, for real? Because after the conference, we thought things were going to be like, okay, did it, whoo. And it's just like, oh, you're taking us even deeper. You're calling us even deeper.
Vanessa brought up Job, and I think you watched Cheryl Brady today as well, right?
Girl, that was crazy. Yeah. That was my church today. Yes.
Yes, I watched it as well today at the baseball field, and it was. But she brought up Job in her sermon today, and how much he lost, and his faith within it all, and that in his relationship with the Lord. So that's what Vanessa said. Job did, and God broke it down and said, where were you, Job? If we're not at his feet, if we're not having that relationship, then how can we come with an expectant hand out?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we have to get out of our feelings, right? We have to get out of our feelings. It's going back to doing God's will, his way, despite how we feel, because it's not about us. It's pretty selfish, I feel. I've been pretty selfish in that it's not about us. It's about what he's calling us to. It's about his works, not ours. Well, ours too, but you know what I mean? Like what he's doing through us, what he's burning out of us, what he's building in us, whatever his will is what it has to be. And I'm guilty. This week was hard. It was like, you want me to do what? And he's like, I'm lining these things up, and you know the situation. I'm lining these things up for this thing to get taken care of for you, but you want to be in your feelings and not give up the most precious thing that you have, which is, you know, I don't know if I'll just say it, my dog. You know, like it's something simple as that. Like, I want you to give this up. I want you to here. I want you to move here. I want you to go work here. Like, okay. And it's not how you feel. It's what I'm calling you to, again, because it's not about us. There were times during the conference, Jenna, that I know you wanted to throw your hands up. But again,
I did.
I know, but I didn't want to.
Well, not during the conference.
Yeah.
But there was a point in July where I messaged Portia and was like, okay, you can have it. I understand that the Lord gave me this vision. I can tell you what it is, but I'm out.
I'm like, you're doing it. Are you kidding me? And that's where community comes in. When you say you want out, community pushes you back in, because they trust what God has placed on the inside of you. They trust the vision that he gave you. And you need that solid support system to be able to push through his work. So it's, you know, going back to the community part, it is, if the times where we sat with Vanessa were necessary. They gave us a ignition to keep going, you know, on our last two toes.
Hey, Jazzy Jazz. Welcome. Jasmine Quill. Love you too. I'm so glad you could jump on. Sorry to interrupt you, but when I saw it, I was like,
Well, I think I think we should open the floor to see if anybody has anything that they want to chime in on as it relates to doing God's will, His way, despite how you feel.
And not just that, accountability, because some people don't have they don't have a Portia or a Jenna, but we can help you in it. There's many times that I've wanted to give up, and it takes somebody messaging like, hey, where are you at with that? That's why today, even when Corey messaged me and said something about my book, I was gonna throw my phone and be like, I don't want to do the book right now. I think I even said, I was like, that probably is years, because I'm not doing it right now, even though it could also be a week if I could just finish it. But I say that openly because there's those days. But Corey was the nudge. She's the like, hey sis, remember you had a goal, or remember that God gave you, this is His will and He's told you to do this. So where are you at with it? So if you do have something that you need accountability, pop it in the chat. If it's losing weight, if it is a goal regarding, like Corey is writing a song right now, which is so amazing. And we're able to be accountability partners in that, or I'm hers at times. I'll nudge her about it. But that's what sisterhood is for. And that's what community is for, is to be able to have those moments when it's hard, when it sucks, it's not fun, but to keep your head on straight and say, hey, remember God said this. Like, remember, this is God's will. Remember that you're supposed to be on track with this, and keep your head straight. Let's do it. Let's do it when it's hard, and build the consistency in it, whatever, or the, like, build your discipline within it. And I do believe, though, that when you are walking God's will and your self-discipline is built, it's a lot easier. I mean, that's like anything. It's like working out. Me taking care of my body is God's will because it's me caring for my temple. But it's a lot easier when I can get my rhythm up with it, and I can just do it when it's hard, because there's days I don't want to do it. But I can go, okay, this is what I do every morning at 6:00. That's just what I do. So I'm just going to do it anyways. And that's my self-discipline within it. But also, if I haven't done it for a week, there's a lady at church that I got hurt moving her body at 30 minutes every day. So she'll nudge and be like, remember you told me that for us to move our bodies 30 minutes. I was like, yes, ma'am. I told you that. Yep, you're so right. And so I'm going to go ahead and get it done. And if you can't do it for yourself, sometimes do it for someone else.
That part, because there's been plenty of times where I'm like, I know I feel sucky today. I know we've had our conversation, Jen, but here's a picture of me working out, because we got to keep moving. There's no way around it. So I love that. I absolutely love that.
Jasmine said God is working on her discipline this season. Yeah, it is. And life is easier. I mean, even in like the God's will road, it's a lot easier when you have that discipline down and you can just do it. Do it when it's hard. Get up and do your reading with the Lord. Get up and doing your time with Him. Your day is a lot easier. Working out, your day is a lot easier. But it's just getting through that, the mental battle to get there. Yeah, Corey says accountability. For sure. I think that it truly helps.
And giving yourself grace and taking baby steps too, because discipline is built. It's like a muscle being built. It's going to take repetition, and just giving yourself grace. Of course, getting the work done, but taking baby steps to get to the bigger goal.
Yeah. And guys, we have free will. And that's kind of what Vanessa was saying regarding, is it the devil or is it you? Like, we have the free will to choose to do the right thing, like to do the workout or to not do the workout, which comes with a greater reward. So you can do hard. I used to have it on my phone screen that you can do hard things, whatever the hard thing is. For a long time, it was picking up the phone to a really difficult client. So that's why it was my phone screen. Like, you can do hard things. You can answer this phone call. You can take it on and deal with it now or deal with it later. But we still have to deal with it. And it's the same with God's will. You deal with it now or you can deal with it later. Like, you still have to press. I mean, you're going to have to press in eventually. He will refine it out of you. One way or another. One way or another. We're going to get it done.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Or do you want to die and get to the gates and he says he never knew you.
Mm.
What is your that's a free will thing. You can't hide from it. Corey says no, not at all. But like I said, if there is something accountability wise that you'd want to put us to check on you, please feel free to put it in there. And any other feedback on God's will or something that's been hard for you this week. I was open as far as the book piece. That is God's will. That's something he's told me to do for a while, and I can't get through the uncomfortableness to get it done. Is probably what it is. It's just the uncomfortable piece of it. And so that I'd say that's part of mine for this week. What about yours, Portia?
I started the Rise and Rebirth page, just a little small group page that God told me to, and that's pretty much all he said to do because the website and stuff, like that part's done of it. But that, really we're focusing on the group page and planning out the photo shoot. Because it just makes it so real. It is dear to my heart, but it makes it so real. And I think the procrastination part is I want it to be perfect, but God is like, if you're moving in me, just move me like you did the last time, and with greater intent, like just intend for me to show, like know that I'm gonna show up. I'm already showing you the people. Just put the pen to the paper and plan it out, and send the text messages and let it be. Stop letting it sit in your head and being worried about it because I'm in control. So I need accountability to go ahead and reach out to the people that will be a part of it and create the mood board so we can get started.
Jasmine says accountability in managing my time better. Ooh, girl. The only thing that works for me is time blocking when it comes to managing my time better. And also 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A lot of the times, if I can get into some Mel Robbins countdown 5s, I will get up and do the hard thing. So even when I catch myself out of not managing my time well, if I can catch it and then go, okay, no, I need to be doing the laundry right now. And then you do your countdown, get up and do it. It's not going to get done unless you do it. So you just have to keep pressing. Like, you can do the hard things. You can get through. Portia, you want to say how you manage your time well, especially when it comes to your phone? Because that's unique. It's
my do not disturb and all my timers.
Yeah.
So I have mine programmed for study. So like they come on at different times too. They're programs that come on. So because I do the time blocking as well, but it's a little different. Like I put timers in my phone and I strictly adhere to them. And I kind of get a little addicted to hearing it go off. I'm like, dang, I was 5 minutes, that kind of helps me. I make it a game. And then, I do not disturb and I have study time. And it says specifically, you can go on your phone and edit. It says specifically what you're doing. So people respect that. They know you're not picking up your phone. And then sometimes if they still get through, I put it on airplane mode. So,
but you also, you do, what's like, how do you do your app? So like you'll say, get on Instagram right now. That's what I was wondering.
So because at one point in my life, I got heavily addicted to scrolling. I wouldn't even be looking at anything. So I went through the settings on my phone for my screen time. And if you reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook, whatever you have me on, I can give you specific ways of, like, I can give you the specific way of doing it. But I have it to where I have to actually put a passcode in on my Instagram or my Facebook or any app on my phone. Like my apps shut off on my phone at a certain time every day. And then I have to actually put a passcode in. I can ask for 1 minute. I can ask for 1 hour. And it's one other one. But once I click on, you can only click on 2. And yes, you can only click on 2. And then it shuts off again. And I have to put a passcode. So all the steps that I have to take to get on this app, it's not even worth it. Because it was so easy for me to just take my phone, click on it, and then get to scrolling. Now I have to go. It's like my brain has to sit there and think, do I actually really want to do this? Or am I doing this because I'm not disciplined enough to wake up at 5 without touching my phone? So it kind of gives you a lot more freedom than having those bad habits of picking the phone up as soon as you wake up, picking the phone up. Because unfortunately, our phones, we do a lot of stuff on. Because I was even considering getting an actual alarm clock because of that. But because I don't like it. And I realized, because if you check, and also on there, Jasmine, it's Jasmine, right? If you look at your phone, it'll show you how much screen time you use. And when I was seeing that number increasing in the times that I was having the most anxiety, or in the times where I was, just bored, I was like, that's unproductive time. So for me to be protective, I set those parameters on my phone to make it hard for me to get into those apps. And then, yeah. And if all else fails, I'll put it on airplane mode so nothing happens anyways. So, yes.
No, I think that's huge. I haven't gone that far with my apps, but when I see you do it, it's commendable for sure, because there's so much time. I think that's when people say like managing your time better. A lot of the times, like in the past 5 years, our life has gone into scrolling.
Man.
And I'm sure there's many reasons as to why and how and whatever, but it's this instant gratification and you just get zoned in it. And I even got after my son this morning. I was telling Desmond, I'm like, you don't really realize what you're taking in, because you think you're watching the 1 minute video and that's that, but you now have it stored. You know the 1 minute video. Like, you're not understanding I call it cache and cookies of your brain, because you don't clear them. You're not like actually clearing the cache and cookies. You're storing that, and it's now part of you. So whether you're spiritual, like you're understanding spirit and how all of that works and open doors and things like that, or even if you're just in basic, like, I mean, not even believing in all of that, it is so detrimental to our mental health and what we intake every day through social media, through like TikTok and all the different apps, even within our email. I posted something the other day. I had like 466,000 emails by the time Yahoo shut me off. And those are, if I took that in every day and went in and deleted all of that, that's why I just let it go, because it's not for me to ingest. I get what's important out of them, but like, there's a lot of junk mail that comes in different forms, whether, like I said, whether it be like the 1 second video that you're intaking, or like all the ads and all this stuff. And my brother sent me something recently, I think it was today, about like life before women went into the workplace. And that's a big topic, right? But you have to think of like the marketing and everything that now has changed in that course of time. So since like 1950s, how life has changed for us. But a large part of that is like the marketing and the things that we now know and the jingles that are in our heads. And prior to TV and prior to all that, there wasn't a lot of that. And so we have to kind of get back into the curiosity, there, like the wonder. We talk about that sometimes in book club, and being able to open your mind up to wonder again, and be curious about things instead of we know so much. We never wonder. Holly said the problem for her is that she can feel how much I let my flesh have control when it comes to these things. I've watched a million podcasts and written a lot of things and organized things. I've used the D&D and used an app called Opal that blocks things, but I catch myself still going and I'm blocking the things I blocked, and it's a struggle. My time management and staying consistent is up and down, more down than up of staying consistent. I'll challenge you a bit, Holly, with it, because we'll do anything if our why is big enough. And I know you know that because you've read all the books. You've probably read all the things that I've read. And well, there's two things. And one is like, one of the fruits of the spirit is self-control. And so we can gain that by allowing the Holy Spirit in and relying on him every time that you go to bat with it. But the other piece is that, is your why big enough? Can you really get to the root of like, I want to change my life because of this? For me, eating, I've posted pictures like in the past few months, is like how big I was. I was about 200 pounds or I was 200 pounds at one point, sick. Like my body was riddled with like, I had lupus. I have spina bifida. There's something like major medical issues that were causing me I had excuses of why I couldn't move my body, why I wasn't eating good. I was run down. I was impoverished. I was on welfare at the time, like all these things. And finally, it was like, no one's going to change it but you. So if you want your house to be clean, you're going to have to clean it. If you want, like, you have to do the hard thing and you have to be able to overcome that. But where is the why? Like, I started eating better because I found that the root was I didn't really love myself when I was feeding it crap. And so now it's like I actually love myself. Like I am giving it what it needs to be able to nourish my body. And so therefore it's like that moment of I can get like a dopamine hit off of it of like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I can pat myself on the back like I'm taking care of me, and that's amazing. And I'm worshiping the Lord in that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a form of worship when I'm taking care of my temple and I'm doing good in it. So I hope that helped you, Holly. That was my take. Portia, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
I mean, mine goes to the weight loss too. I was over 200 pounds, and that was the biggest thing. The ailments, the different ways that your body feels. That was kind of something that I'll never forget. What came to my head is I remember I went to the doctor and I was just telling her all the things she was telling me, all the pre-diabetic, all these different things of why I needed to lose weight and what that looked like for me. And I remember I was like, but I'm hungry. Like, I got it. She says, no, you just have to stop. And I can't remember where she was from. But she said, stop putting the food in your mouth. And it was something so simple as that. It's just a stop and be intentional. You know what I'm saying? And take baby steps in your intentionality. That does not mean beat yourself up, but I had to make better choices because I wanted a better outcome in my body. I wanted to be able to breathe easier. I wanted to be able to take longer walks. I wanted to be able to fit into, it wasn't always, some of it was outside. I wanted to be able to wear certain clothes, but it's like, I wanted to be able to move around and I didn't want anything to stop me from doing that. And so I didn't care what it took. That was the same in business. I didn't care what it took. It's again, like you said, your why. I needed my body back, and I'm not size wise. I needed to be healthy. And so it took me, like right now, I'm doing the 40-day fast, no sugar. When I tell y'all, Jenna knows, I love a good ice cream. I love a good lollipop. I am a sweets fanatic, but my why is I know how that makes my body feel. My why is, and Jenny, we've talked, my body pain. Oh, no, ma'am. I know what sugar does to my body, so I'm dedicated to starving myself of that. And I'll be honest, Holly, I got off of that around the conference and a little bit after because that was my coping thing was always sweets. And I paid for it, And so now I'm like, okay, God, my friend reached out to me. We're all in a group chat, me, Jen, and another friend. And I have the book. And I just I was like, I need to read that book again. And my friend reached out to me and said, hey, I got this book. Happened to be the same book that I have had in my nightstand for weeks. And so it was God challenging me, I feel, or wanting me to challenge myself to become dedicated to Him in this way. Because every time I want to eat a sweet, I go back to what's so bitter in your life or what's so off track in your life, Portia, that you want to go pick this back up again. Does that make sense, Jenna?
100%. My pastor says you have to learn how to say no and stop.
Yes.
And it's a very basic thing, right? And we look at toddlers and it's like, no, I said no. But do we do it as adults?
No, because we want what we want, how we want it, when we want it. But that's not God's will or His way. And, we have to kind of go back to that too, Jen.
God's will is that we love ours. I mean,
yeah.
That I really do when it comes to food, and it even comes to cleanliness or leveling up, like trying to actually like save money to buy a house or whatever it is. Do you love yourself enough to want this for yourself? Because God wants it for you, right? It's a desire of your heart. God wants that for you. He wants to be able to give it to you, but can you get through the self-discipline pieces? Can you actually honor Him through that everyday struggle? Like, hey, I'm still going to pick up my bootstraps and keep going even when it's hard, because I personally believe that's a form of worship as well.
Okay. Jasmine said, "Oh, bye, Vanessa." Vanessa said,
Bye.
Google Bob Newhart YouTube. Stop it. It's a great explanation. So it's called Stop It. But Jasmine says, "What's the name of the book again?" Jasmine, it's the 40-day sugar fast. Is that what she's asking about?
I'm gonna try to pull it up.
Yes. Do you love yourself enough to want it for yourself? Yes, Gigi. Do you love yourself enough to want it for yourself? And that is a daily ask. And that is a sitting with yourself. So I think introspection and self reflection is a really good thing um, to do in your quiet time, like finding some quiet time so that you can sit with yourself, be with yourself, hear yourself. And I do things like pat myself on the, like I hunt for the wins in my day because not every day I get it right pertaining to my self-discipline. We're not going to get it right 100% of the time. But my mom always says, good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. It's a practice thing. It's a practice thing. It's a grace thing. It's a practice thing. And it's a community thing. So you, Jenna and I, we are always open. We are always, and we're working on some things to put in place so that, we have something for you guys to be able to reach out to us on, or however you guys do it, inbox me, inbox Jenna. But we want to encourage you that this is a season of you. You have to water you and water you well. And that is a practice thing because we're such selfless women. I'm pretty sure you, Jasmine, Vanessa, Gigi, Holly, Corey, we're selfless women. And so I think this is just a season of us and being intentional, giving ourselves grace as we unbecome to become, like we always say, and putting some different systems in place so that we can get it a little better.
And one of those for me, like I created the journal because those things were helping me through to get through the hard. You can inbox me for a journal. They're $17, but it has, like, for one, the top one's gratitude. Like being able to go and seek the gratitude in your day, to even have a smile on your face to get through it, or to be able to see the good in the tough. The second one is like, what are you believing God for? Because that's the desire of your heart. So what are you believing him for to be able to do? And then it goes into what are you working towards? So that is the God's will. Like at that last part at the bottom, it's like, what are you going to do today to be able to get those things that you actually desire? So it's kind of like a strategic piece to be able to get your head in motion for the day, so you're able to kind of go, okay, I can get through this. I don't know, I was talking to Portia or someone else about like what got me through in 2020. I wrote down a ton of things, or it's 10 things of goals that I wanted to accomplish, and I wrote them as if I already did them. I wrote them every single day it was probably about a year and a half at most. It took me to accomplish all 10, and they were large. Opening a business, finishing my business degree, losing an X amount of weight, getting Desmond in a private school. Like there were like big things, but I was able to get my head towards it every day. The difference that happened within that is I wasn't inviting God into it. And so this journal invites the Lord into it to be like, God, these are the desires. These are the things that I'm wanting. I can see that they match up to your will by prayer or by character, like going into my secret place to be able to get that. And then being able to attack it each day, but having that highlight reel in my head of like, is this really what I want to be doing in my life? Like, this is what I want my life to be like. This is what I want my life that I'm writing with God. This is, and Portia, you kind of talk about manifesting with the Lord, but being able to get in that zone every single morning to say, okay, I actually like want to write a book, or I want to finish my degree. God, I'm on a partner with you today to be able to get that. And sometimes, I mean, there was a point within me writing that I have a business degree that it just took me making the phone call to the college. There were some days that it was like me writing, I have a business degree, that took me doing the homework that I didn't want to do, like doing the suck, doing the things that I hated, going, picking up and getting to class on time when I could have found something else to do easily. But every day I was writing that I had a business degree. So how am I going to get that alignment with my own desires of my heart? And which is God's, like, it aligned in God's will. I can say that. I can see that now. But we have to be able to pick up the bootstraps when it does get hard. Gigi says, my problem is that I expect me to fix everything in 25 minutes, constantly seeking instant gratification. I think that's where the journal helped me, because what am I doing today? Because I can't do it. I can't go get a degree today. But like, what is something I could do on my little roadmap to get there? Because I have a few different like little stops that I probably can make along the way. Part of that's doing my homework. But inevitably, I'm trying to make it to the finish line of getting this degree. So I think that's why setting your big goals and setting the small goals and partnering with God in it all, because even when that 25 minutes is up and you still haven't fixed it, relying on God to be able to give you a sound mind in the midst, giving yourself grace that you got done what you could have in that 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's not perfection.
Mm-mm.
Progress.
Mm-hmm. And I think putting it somewhere where you can see it, because sometimes journaling is a lifelong thing that I think that every person, every human should do. Also, along with that is having it somewhere where you can see it, because when you're into the thick of it, a lot of times you forget certain things or your mind goes into this space where that stuff gets put on the back burner. So not only just writing it down, but seeing it, speaking it in the mirror, believing it for yourself, whatever it takes, because I am also too one of those instant gratifications. I'm like, it's going to happen today. And then when that timeline doesn't match up, because see, the timeline may not be God's will. Does that make sense? Like it might not be in the way that you, as fast as you want it to, or as, sometimes you got to let that thing slow cook a little bit for it to even stick. So, instant gratification is definitely something that I struggle with for sure. Journaling and seeing it, believing it, and trusting God's timing in it too.
That's the journaling is the morning routine of like every single morning, starting your day off that way. That to me helped by seeing it every single day and make it your own. There's days I will tell you, like, you don't have to buy my journal. I'm not saying that at all. I would write it on a napkin. If I was out at a restaurant and I realized that I hadn't done it for the day, I got so disciplined, or just so like it was on my mind and I knew I needed to get it done by that day. Like I can't finish my day without writing my gratitude and writing my goals and actually getting this down on a piece of paper, because in turn you can see it. Mm-hmm. Like you're writing it, you're saying it, you're saying it, and it's sticking, because then you remember when you're in the hard and you're like, that's why I'm doing that, because I'm gonna have a business degree. That's why I'm doing this right now. Okay, now I remember. It's go time. Come on, let's do it. Mm-hmm. But if you're not doing it every day and you put it on the back burner, and you'll wake up in 25 years and you haven't written the book. That's not God's will.
Mm-hmm. That was decisions.
That's your free will. That's not God's will. That's your free will.
Mm-hmm. Knowing the difference between God's will and your free will.
Yeah. It's tough, but it's that daily practice, setting a journal, setting a reminder, or not a journal, setting a morning routine and setting a reminder in your phone. That is helpful. And some of these things, honestly, it's not huge goals, guys. Sometimes just having that as your goal for the day, I'm going to get up and do my journal, sometimes is all you can take. We talked about that at the conference. Like sometimes it's just getting in the shower.
Oh my gosh.
This isn't perfection. Like it's progress. So don't get hard on yourself when you can't. Pick your one foot in front of the other and be able to get to the next. But when you have it in front of your face and you're seeing it and you're saying it, it really makes a huge difference. And especially with the gratitude, it makes your day so much brighter because you start seeking it. And I write 5 things. Like, these are the 5 things that I'm grateful for. And sometimes it's that the sun is shining. Sometimes it's that I had quiet time, or I'm reading a good book. Maybe it's that it's Desmond's birthday, like whatever. It sometimes are big things. Sometimes are massive accomplishments. And sometimes it's like a great chocolate chip cookie.
Oh.
Find gratitude.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I thank you, God, for just I'm grateful to have wait to wake up today. I'm grateful to because I'm just grateful to wake up today. Thank you, Lord.
It
Mm-hmm.
makes your days so much easier. And I just started noticing, like, the more that I was writing it, the more I was looking around, like, seeking it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I'm gonna write that. Like, when I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna write that. And in the journal that I've created, also, like, has a scripture that you can, like, what's your daily scripture to focus on. There's a page that you can just, like, dig in and write just your letter to God or what God is saying to you on one side. But journaling, I would say, at some point saved my life. It made me a better life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really did get me in a focus to be able to get through the hard, but also, like, remember the why. Truly, Holly, it's like that piece was, okay, this is why I'm doing this. There was a point I was writing, which always seemed very general. I was writing, I'm happy and healthy, and I'm clean and organized. I'm happy and healthy, I'm clean and organized. And those were 2 of my 10 every day that I was writing. But how weird it is, it's like, then all of a sudden I was, like, organizing a drawer. I truly wouldn't have had it in the forefront of my mind if I wasn't writing those things, is why I say that. I wouldn't have been focused on it. I wouldn't have stopped to take the time to do it. I wouldn't have gotten off my phone long enough to be able to be in the drawer to organize it. So I really do think that could help, Holly, and your question that you had, because we can read all the books and we can listen to all the podcasts, but the difference is doing the hard thing and finding the why and why we're doing it.
Mm-hmm. And hunting for the good stuff. Hunting for the good stuff. If your tire pops, if all heck is breaking out, you can find something good in your day. And I hunt for the good stuff, and I search for wins. And sometimes that win is I reached over, because this was it. Last night was a night, and this morning is a day. I reach over, I take my multivitamin, and that was my win. You know what I mean? So I think we need to dial it back. I think Corey said something about simple things. It's the simple things. Taking a walk and smelling a flower, taking the walk, putting on your shoes to take the walk. You know what I'm saying? Being able-bodied to do the things that, if we all are honest, those days where we're depressed and we can't see left from right, north to south, east to west, those simple things of just letting some cold water or warm water. Sometimes I do cold water to bring me back and bring me present, you know. Those moments where we're in the shower, you know, like, it's something simple as that. I got to clean my body today. I got to feel something today. Even if it's just water, I got to feel something. So, and like Jenna, we do a lot of sunbathing just to bring us back, you know, because life is
100%.
life be lifing. And if you think we got it all figured out, think again. Okay, we are literally in the thick of things too most days, and really trying to do the will of the Father.
I'm say I'm a plant. And so when I'm in a mood, when things are really crazy, I'm like, have I watered today? Have I drank enough water? Have I got sunlight? And there's times I will seek sunlight. Like, I think one day I was telling Portia, I'm like, it is like 3 and the sun hasn't come out. And I don't know, like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go find a red light room because I can't function unless I have, like, yeah, I'm a plant. I will be not well without the sunlight, without my vitamins and water. Holly, I will pray with you as well about it. There's there's pieces. And I think that you have to give yourself grace in a lot of it. You have a lot going on too. So maybe just picking one thing to focus versus trying to take on a ton. And we're also learning boundaries in book club. If anyone is on here who's not on, I know Corey and Holly are on book club. Gigi is in book club as well. And learning some boundaries from the Boundaries book is very helpful when trying to create goals and trying to get past and trying to, I mean, even align yourself in the Lord's will. That's a lot of the book too. It's like, how could you can't serve and do all these things and be all these things, and you're dying on the inside. I was trying to find another way to say that, but yeah, you're losing yourself. You are losing yourself. So yes, Thursday nights, book club, 7 p.m. Central Time on Zoom. So if anyone isn't in and wants to join, you can always hop on and just listen, even if you're not reading the book, and see how things go. It's a really cool group who is vulnerable and kind. And man, at this point, we are working through how book club calls you out for sure. We're growing together. How can you pour into others when you need to be poured into? Yeah. So boundaries helps. Having calls like this and conversations that are not fun, but you can learn a ton. And I mean, just being vulnerable and where we're at right now, because we don't all have it figured out. And if there's somebody on the internet saying that they do, I'm sorry, because we're all learning. And the point that you stop learning, you start dying. So I think that it's a great, this is a great avenue to be able to just discuss the hard things. And tonight's conversation about doing God's will, even when it's hard, is so beneficial. So thank you, Portia, for your vulnerability and discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And next week, we don't know the topic, but we will put a poll out Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And we will have more information on Friday as far as what the topic is. So be on the lookout of that. If you have liked the You're Her Conversation page, awesome. You'll have information coming there. And then also our YouTube page. If you can subscribe, that would be amazing. And we love you guys, and we thank you for joining us. If you have topic recommendations, please feel free to put those in the chat or send them to us directly on DM.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to comment real quick because Holly posted something and said, you said something that really hit hard, reminded me again. I try to change and fix everything at once, and I've felt like I need to focus on one thing at a time, starting with God first. You're very welcome.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is for.
Yes, and as you build that intimacy with him, I don't know why I keep hearing this, you'll learn to give yourself grace along the journey. Take these baby steps, but take it knowing that he has you in mind, he loves you, and he cares deeply about you, Holly. And he sees you are fully known and loved by him. And so I do also want you ladies, if you go and like the You're Her page, go on there and start inviting your friends. If you like the content that we're sharing, invite a friend, like, share, comment, tell somebody about the page, because we just want to share our love and God's love, and just call you guys up higher and create a community that serves you well, into continuing to know that you are her and you have always been her, and we love her and who she's becoming. So like, share, tell somebody about the page, and keep growing with us.
Yes. All right, ladies, have a good night. We love you. Bye.